Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and I'm going to tell you who I think is going to currently, or like who's going to knock out each champion that's currently on the main roster. Some of these are going to be kind of hard because of storylines they currently have and don't have, and some of them are just going to be shots in the dark. So we're going to start with Cody Rhodes. I think this is the hardest championship to kind of know because there's a lot that goes on to this. There could be a lot of choices. Like if you think about it, Randy Orton would be a good choice because of their long storied history, having that chance to beat Flair's record. There could be a lot of stuff, and they could turn around and have Cody win it right back off of him. So Randy Orton, I think, is a high chance. I couldn't. I could definitely see like Gunther being up there because Cody's eliminated him in both Rumbles. I think there's a lot that could happen, and I think Gunther is on that path to be having a main event like level championship. There's Damian Priest. I don't, for whatever reason, didn't see him up there. Um, but I feel this is what I feel. I think the person who beats Cody is Seth Rollins. I think Seth helped him. I think after Seth comes back and gets in there, I think he beats him next year at WrestleMania. I It's a hard one to say. I know out of everybody in the comments, this is going to be the one that people roast me the most on. I feel like there's just an ability that, Seth's never really gotten to beat Cody, and I think that would be fitting. It's very hard to do Cody Rhodes championship right now because it's so young and he's so over that I don't think they pull the plug on it until he's not over. And I think if they do pull the plug, it's going to be one of those things where they take it and then give it right back to him. So I could see a Seth Rollins. I could see Randy Orton. I could even see like CM Punk possibly beating him at some point. The problem is I don't think we know at this point. And it's just kind of a shot in the dark. So my pick right now would be Seth Rollins. I'm doing this as of April 21st. So we'll be doing these fairly often, and maybe by then we'll have a better shape. But I think that one out of all the championships here is the hardest one to judge. And it makes sense because we got Cody and he finished the story, and I think he is going to have at least, I think he survives definitely till SummerSlam. After that, depending on how his reign's going, will be what he does. But that's how I'm feeling. I think Seth Rollins. Next up is Damian Priest. I think this could go many ways. I think it's still gonna be Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre getting the title and getting to CM Punk is a great, storyline. I think that would be great, but also them just rivaling with no championship will still be a box office hit. So I could see them going one other way, and that's with Finn Balor and the Judgment Day breaking up, with Finn going after him, and Finn finally getting his chance to get back into that spotlight that he's been wanting to do ever since he had to give up the Universal title. I think Finn would have that title, and it would be great, and I think it would build a big story of the Judgment Day kind of going away. I think that they've kind of laid seeds of it, so I could see that happening. But those are my top two. But it kind of just depends on where they want to go, because I don't think you need Drew and CM Punk to go after a championship to make that rivalry perfect. So they could literally just keep two separate stories and great matches without having to use the title on those two. But that's I think the title also just could elevate it even better too, because Drew could finally get back what CM Punk knocked him out of, and then CM Punk's coming there to swoop it away from him. You never know. So next up is what you formerly was the Raw Tag Team Champions, Miz and R-Truth as the Awesome Truth. You could see definitely maybe the Judgment Day coming back for it. I don't really think that's going to be it. Them changing, with the draft could definitely bring in some other teams, but I think right now, and I think that they've had enough, I think it's going to be DIY with Gargano and Ciampa. I think they already kind of have a match. I don't think they hold onto the title super long. I think it's going to be a quick switch. I think it's kind of one of those they wanted to give R-Truth and the Miz that extra WrestleMania moment and showing that how great they have done for the company. And but I don't think it's going to be a long run. I could see them possibly holding to SummerSlam because the Miz is a big Cleveland guy, and it would be great. I mean, I think he's from Cleveland, so I don't know why he's a Cleveland guy. So I think doing that could definitely be something that they change. Other than that, I think that's basically where they go with it. is with DIY dethroning them. If I had to pick a second team, depending on the landscape of things of how it goes, I'd possibly pick. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I can pick a second team right now. Next up, we have A Town Down Under with the other tag team champions. They have a match against the Pride, which is like the Street Profits. I could definitely. Did they? No, wait. Who was that? Did I mess it up? Was it not? I can't remember now who won the number one contendership. Either way, I don't think the Street Profits are the ones that win. I believe they were the ones that won. Man, my brain just completely put to mush what SmackDown was last week. I could see this team kind of going out and getting it. I have two big things. My first one, you could easily go Solo and Tama Tonga because I feel like they need to put a championship on the new tribal chief, and there's not a lot of options out there. But I could possibly see them both. It's not very likely, but it wouldn't surprise me. But my number one choice out of all of them would be. I don't know why I can't find them on here. I'm just stumbling around because I can't find who I believe it's going to be. Why is this so bad sometimes? I know I hate this like tier list thing because like I should have just got the pictures because I could just go click and there it is. There's who I think it's going to be. But for whatever reason, I couldn't find the Creed brothers because I think the Creed brothers are the ones that are going to do. They're going to turn heel, and I think by them winning that for what would be the new Alpha Academy or whatever with Chad Gable. I keep like having that in my brain that it's not even anything that's happened or anything confirmed, but I just kind of like that idea so badly that I'm just basing stuff off of, and it's probably wrong. Next up, we got the U.S. Championship. If the U.S. Championship goes to Raw or goes to SmackDown, it could really change where it goes. I think there's got to be somebody big that takes him out. I think it's going to be somebody that is really rising up and is going to be somebody who takes that U.S. title and I think holds on to it for a long time. I think it's going to be like an Intercontinental thing where he holds on to this for the majority of the time he's been on the main roster, and I think that's Braun Breaker. I think it's just the perfect person for it. I think he gets that title very young, very into the fame, and he just has like a 400-day reign and just is a beast. Like John Cena style of open challenges, doing all he can. I say it's Braun Breaker. I could possibly see that they could put somebody like LA Knight in there. It's not necessarily ideally, I think, the situation. I think LA Knight needs a championship, and I could see them maybe doing LA Knight to Braun Breaker at that point. But I think you just kind of keep the two young guys. I think Braun and Logan Paul would put on a near 5-star match on just athletics alone. But I feel like Braun Breaker would be my number one choice. I could see LA Knight in there. Sami Zayn, I think, runs into two problems depending on where he gets drafted. I could see Gunter being still a thorn in his side. I don't see him taking the title off of him, but you never know. I think the two people that he has to are two former allies. I think there's a possibility that Solo gets his first championship. I think it would be a great opportunity to put him in there. Another one where they could do a kind of a nicer reign, because he's the tribal chief. I mean, obviously they can't put the WWE Championship on him, but they could do something like this where the Intercontinental title becomes elevated again, how Gunter had it. I could also see that they possibly could do somebody like Kevin Owens having, Kevin wanting his story, and wanting to, beat his best friend, or, I mean, they're still best friends. I think that could definitely, I think they definitely fight each other at some point before his fate is up, but I don't know if he's the one that ends it. And last but not least, but Jay, I think, could possibly also be in that. I think because, I think Sammy would give Jay the opportunity to face him, and, he could possibly pull it off. I think out of those three, my number one choice would be Solo Sikoa, because I think Solo needs that championship to make the Bloodline 2.0 works. He needs something. I don't know if it's a tag team championships or anything. I don't believe that he's that main event talent right now to demand like a bigger championship like the WWE or heavyweight title. So I think the Intercontinental title, with the way Gunter made it a beautiful championship that everybody wanted, I think could basically do the same thing that Solo could do with it. He could possibly do the same thing with the U.S. title, but I think Solo beating Logan, it doesn't have the same feel as Sammy getting beaten by Solo, because it's still that bloodline stuff, and I think it would be more heartbreaking for him to lose it to a bloodline member. That's also, best friend Kevin Owens, if he loses to him, would be great, and even Jay would be great too, because it's like, Jay didn't like him, and they're finally on the same page, but then he takes something away, and it could possibly turn Sammy heel. But I think Solo would be the perfect pick. But that's just my feelings. I think you guys can sound off in the comments. I think the one I'm very shaky about is the tag team champions, because I feel like with us having them split, we're going to see them change a couple times each year compared to having longer reigns. And so I think that will, because I think that that helps a lot of tag teams, like having those belts. And so I see like DIY winning something. I see the Creed brothers winning something. The New Catch Republic could possibly be in there. Possibly even like combination for the LWO, or even Final Testament, Alpha Academy. There's so many that are out there that like could possibly slide in there and have those titles for a certain amount of months. So yeah, this is what my April fin is. I think we'll do this, every other month, maybe after like a backlash, after a PLE, we'll reevaluate where we're going, maybe a week or two after them building new stories. And just anytime anything major happens. I know the draft will also throw a lot of wrenches into this, because some of these people might not be on the same brand. And if they're not the same brand, it might make it a little bit harder for them to change. But I guess we'll see when that comes. And leave a comment below. I think most people are gonna have that WWE champion. That's probably gonna be a little mad at me on that one. But it's so hard to tell on that one. Like, I don't think anybody can with 100% say, yeah, he's gonna lose to this person, because we don't know. I mean, it could possibly just be Roman coming back and beating him for the title. We don't even know, because we don't know what even Roman's doing. But that's how I feel. And hopefully you guys can tell me what you guys feel on it. So, bye, guys.